I'm Tommy Wells. I'm an elected representative on the DC City Council, and I represent Ward 6. It's interesting, a lot of people across the country don't realize people actually live in Washington. And we're a community of over 600,000 people, and we're growing. We're growing at a rate, really at the fastest rate of any jurisdiction in the nation. And so we're a city that is made up of wealthier folks and poorer folks. We really do have a big kind of chasm. And more we're becoming a more diverse city. Great neighborhoods we're finding are not necessarily what we thought they were. We used to think that we divide ourselves up into sections, like you put schools over here, housing over here, stores over here. And what we found is that to be able to get anywhere and do anything, that you had to get in your car to get there. And the more that we lived in our cars and the more that we lived in kind of a sectional stovepiped communities, we didn't see each other, we weren't diverse, we arranged ourselves according to our functions. And what we see in livable neighborhoods and with 5-minute living, we see that we can create neighborhoods that are diverse, that you may want to live in a multifamily housing dwelling and maybe have a lower cost, or a single family housing, and it's a mixed use that includes certainly retail, like walking to fresh food, and also being able to walk to school, being able to walk to and get your health needs. That'll work for people of all ages. And it creates a diverse community that really enriches us, and people just find that it's a much better, more fun place to live when you can essentially walk anywhere you want to get to in 5 minutes. And if you can't get there in 5 minutes, you can get to mass transit that's safe and reliable, that you enjoy taking, and that it's affordable in 5 minutes. And that's a powerful way to live as well. So that is really, I think, something that everybody would like, of all incomes, and certainly people of all ages. And that's what we're building, that's what people are moving to. I know that in Washington, as we start creating and developing the infrastructure to support the lifestyle of 5-minute living, that we thought it was a great thing that 30,000 people moved into our city over the past 10 years, when we've been projected to lose double that amount in the last 10 years. But we grew by 30,000. But just in the past 2 years, since the census was taken, we grew another 17,000. And so it's a lifestyle choice that people are making. It works, and it really does create a higher quality of life for everyone. In Ward 6, we have about $9.5 billion worth of development in the pipeline, or that's just been completed. And it's going to change how we live. And so one of the things that's finite in the ward is street parking. Street parking has multiple uses, and we had not evolved the best thinking around street parking. It was, people just believe it's there for everyone at any time. We had begun to restrict street parking from people using it from other jurisdictions and other states. So we'd already started managing it, and then of course we had parking meters. So what I proposed is that we take a pilot area and we put what I call performance measures on those parking spaces. And those parking spaces mean about anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 per business that's dependent on people parking in those spaces. So the parking generates money for the businesses. The parking is a convenience and an amenity to those that use it. And so it only makes sense to manage it because we can't grow more of it. And so what I did was, with the approval of the City Council and with a lot of community meetings with the businesses and with the residents, that we used multi-space meters that could be programmed. And the idea is to try to always assure folks that parking is available, so that during high dense times when people are using the parking, that we charge more, and so that it turns over, and during the times when it's not being used much, that we reduce the amount. And then we adjust the length of time that you can have parking, also to try to match the needs of the area. We see that America, just like the rest of the planet, is challenged to have a sustainable future. We know that we're using fossil fuels at a greater rate than they'll ever be replaced. We know that we have environmental impact of our behavior and the things that we do that really is assuring us that the climate is changing, we're not replacing the natural resources as fast as we're using them, and the impact that humans have on the environment is fairly deleterious. And so we believe that we're going to probably continue to grow as a country, and we're going to continue to grow as a planet in terms of the number of people that live there. And so how we grow will determine really how long we can last as a human race on the planet. And it really is as stark as that. So how we arrange ourselves, the choices we make, how we feed ourselves, how we get around, really has an impact on whether the next generation, and the next generation will be able to have a quality of life that's as good as the quality of life we have today. That we know that people are living longer, and we know that, again, we're going to continue to rapidly add the number of people that live on the planet. So more and more, we're seeing that if we're planful about where we live and how we live, that we can mitigate the impact that we have on the planet for the rest of the folks. So smart growth has a lot to do with helping us organize ourselves in a way that minimizes the impact on the environment, improve our quality of lives, and continue to really live in a more responsible way as stewards of the planet we live on.